Howdy do, Scotty Brizzle here reporting, holding it down for Lismore. I am just on my way to go and have a chat with a gentleman who reached out to me. He goes by the name of Wombi, also known as Mark. So Mark has made a Facebook group called Lismore Drains Community Action, where he has been addressing the horrific state of the drains all around Lismore. And apparently it's not the council's responsibility, but there's been some absolutely shocking stories out there, and locals are just being left to figure it out for themselves. And this hasn't been happening since the floods. This has been happening for years. So maybe it's about time we do something about it.
This drain has passed my neighbour's place, and then it terminates here on the other side of this car park is curb and guttering and stormwater infrastructure, which I assume the business had to pay for. This water needs to get to that. Hi, I'm Mark. This is Newbridge Street, and today we are going to look at the drains which are non-functioning. I've had council here telling me the water falls that way. It doesn't. It just sits stagnant in the drains.
So as we can see here at the front of Mark's property, these drains are not functioning properly. They're clogged up, starting to smell, and you can obviously see looking absolutely horrendous.
When the heavy machinery came in to clear out all the stuff everyone chucked out, they broke the drains, not on purpose. These drains have never worked. I've lived here for 6 years. Now this house, as you can see, it's got a low front on it, so when it floods, all the water goes under their house. They've had to cut a hole in the floor, install a pump the water out from under their house into this drain that doesn't work. They paid for an excavator themselves, and just to give them some more volume to put the water. But as you can see the oil everywhere.
You even had fish popping up in the drains.
Little fish. I'm not sure what kind they were. So you can see the sandbag trying to stop.
So all this water's running back into this property.
Yes. There's the hole in the floor in the pump, and the only choice is to pump it straight back out on the street, and it just goes straight back under the house as soon as it rains. Every street around here, and also in East Lismore, North, has a couple of houses on each street which have a problem like this. And we understand that it's a floodplain. When we have massive amounts of rain at one time, the water is going to come up. When the rain stops, it needs to drain away faster and have that facilitated, and that's not happening. We've just had 2 days, the first 2 days of sunshine. This is the result. Residents maintain their own drains, and everyone has a different strategy on how to do that. You've got low points all over the place and high points all over the place. I've had the council tell me it's my responsibility. There's a community agreement that we look after the drains and the verges ourselves. I broke my mower mowing the edges of these drains. I stopped mowing my verge and said, it's not my responsibility. I will not do it anymore.
As we were talking to your neighbour just before, she was saying that she's been digging out the drains herself, and so yeah, we'll go have a chat with her in just a bit.
She's very house proud, so she does all the work herself. Loveliest lawn on the street. I was standing here across the road from my place with one of my neighbours who has lived here since she was 18 years old.
Di, is that your name?
Yes, that's my name. Came here when I was 18 and I'm now reaching 70, and we have cared for our drains all that time. I don't recall council coming at all to do it correctly. No schedule of regular drain work.
I've been told stories like that.
Oh yeah, never. We've always maintained our own, plus our neighbours. And after this horrific event, the water's just sitting there stagnant.
Did the front of your neighbour's place as well with the shovel?
Did the front of the neighbours. It is a joke, and we're ratepayers, and as a ratepayer, I think we deserve better.
Been worn down, yeah? You've accepted that.
I haven't accepted it.
Right.
It becomes a fact of life here that you got crap drains. It's pretty tough when you pay big rates.
We have a stormwater fee attached, I'm pretty
yes,
sure.
Yes, absolutely.
The specific fee.
Yeah, and because we're double rated because of 2 units.
And we were just talking up then with another neighbour how a lot of people have paid their rates already this month. And
I have.
Yeah, you've already paid them.
I'm paid right up, and would appreciate some help.
No problem. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you. This is Di's handiwork right here.
One lady and a shovel. Experts look at this drain and tell us that the water just runs away when it doesn't. Even if it did run away, everything's silted up. All that sewage, toxic waste has to be cleaned up for it to work. This company here had to pay to put in this curb and guttering themselves as a condition of their DA to build another shed on their premises. So they've paid for this result. You can see there's no space. I had to go along the street with a piece of conduit attached to a hose and plug it in at every house and try and hose out the gutters just to get the water moving after the first flood.
There's got to be some massive health concerns with all of this, right?
Oh yeah, I got sick and had 2 courses of antibiotics in the first 3 weeks from being mucking around in all this stuff, discussing unsafe work. A myriad of health hazards. I had to get the water moving because there was it's just sitting there. It's still sitting there, you know. The forensic guys do a pH test in clean water after the second flood and tell me, oh no, it's fine, the water's pH neutral, when it was fresh, clean rainwater.
You'd think for a town that floods very often that this would be one of the first things people get sorted.
Yeah, you would. And you know, these guys have trimmed some stuff off and just thrown it in the drain. You know, it's just an ongoing, can I say, clusterfuck? They've also told me that the pipes that go under driveways are our responsibilities. I don't understand how. It's beyond the joke. I'll show you some more exciting drains.
Let's do it.
So we're at the front of Lismore South Public School. I'm on the PNC here. Have a go at this drain. So this has stormwater drains.
Chock to the brim of mud.
When it rains hard, school pickup time, ankle deep from here all the way back to out the front of the preschool. The curb acts as a dam wall and the water comes from the low point and it just pools and builds. My property backs onto Hollingsworth Creek. There's hundreds of tons of rubbish in Hollingsworth Creek still. It's too wet to get machines in to drag it out.
Yeah.
I had a huge tank of cooking oil removed by some people who wanted cooking oil for biodiesel. Otherwise it'd still be sitting there with hot tape around it, waiting for the next flood. You can see here, old existing gutter. These residents has obviously done this themselves. This is new, it wasn't here pre-flood.
Yeah, so they've just put this all in themselves. God knows how much work and money and time was put into this, right?
Yeah, and done a good job there, but who does the job there? Everyone in this neighbourhood has lost their mowers, their whippersnippers, their brush cutters, their ride-ons.
And how can anyone afford this kind of machinery during our biggest flood on record, you know?
There has to be solutions, not just pushing onto the residents that it's their problem. God knows what is in that.
Like, look how thick that is. That is insane.
Like I was saying, at least 2 or 3 places on each block where there's a low point and the water goes straight back in under their houses. So we're going to get old whatever sewage from 3 months ago now, as soon as we get 80 mils of rain in an hour. So we were talking to some people on this street and they said, go and check the back alley out. When it rains, all the water goes that way.
All this is backing up into this person's bloody backyard. And you can smell it.
Yeah.
I should have worn me gummies like you, mate. Yeah, this is the standard for a normal day.
So you can see there's a drain, there's some kind of ditch, and then as you go along, it gets less and less. But apparently that's this empty lane's responsibility to look after. I've started a Facebook group called Lismore Drains Community Action to have the drains repaired, maintained in north, south, east, everywhere in Lismore where they don't function. We want the council to step up and do the job. If they can't afford it, then we want them to ask state government for money. If state can't afford it, then we need federal. The council can pass the buck only for so long. We're not going to stop. Together we're stronger.
You're doing such a great job here, brother, and obviously it's not just for your house, it's for your whole bloody community. So thanks so much for all your hard work and getting information out there. Thanks, brother.
Cheers.
That was Mark Womby Woolbank over in South Lismore. And again, his Facebook group is Lismore Drains Community Action Group. And the more people who are hearing about this group, the more people who are joining, because this is obviously a problem. So we will continue to lobby for help to repair and rebuild these drains that are all over town, because this is the last thing residents should be worrying about right now or spending money on, which they do not have due to the obvious circumstances. So please give this video a like and share it around, because this is something that really needs to be addressed. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and give your mum a cuddle for me. Keep it real.